Welcome back. Well, this morning I welcome Brian Hamel, managing partner of Thompson-Hamel, LLC, and he will be discussing the importance of having estate documents in place. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy holidays.
Oh, yeah. So what do you mean when you say estate documents exactly?
Well, there are three documents that you really need to have in place. You need to have a last will and testament.
Okay.
You need to have a durable financial power of attorney and an advance health care directive.
All right. So do you want to kind of tell us a little bit about each one of these documents so people understand what they actually are?
Sure.
And me, what they are.
In the last will and testament, you're essentially identifying where your assets want to be transferred or given to upon your death.
Okay.
The other important thing you have in that document is you need to name a personal representative, and that person is someone you trust to carry forward your wishes that you've outlined in your will. And in the will, too, you oftentimes, if you have children, there'll be a children's trust for the health and well-being of your child. Or there could be these things called credit shelter trusts to deal with estate taxes upon your death if you're subject to that. So that's what is essentially in the document. And why is it important? If you don't have it in place, the state is going to determine where your assets go, and sometimes that is not consistent with what your wishes are.
All right. And then the next one is durable financial power of attorney document.
Yeah, that deals with financial matters. So you're appointing a person to act on your behalf if you can't make decisions on your own. Sometimes you can have that effective immediately. So a person can act on your behalf whether you're disabled or not, or you can have it triggered upon a disability. And it's important to have that in place, just like with a will, to make sure that you have it in writing so someone else doesn't determine how your financial matters are taken care of.
All right, and then the next document that you should have?
It's called a durable healthcare power of attorney. In this case, you name a person to make healthcare decisions. Okay. And that person is responsible or is able to gain access to your medical records and make end-of-life decisions on your behalf. Why is it important? There was a very famous case in Florida with a woman named Terry Schiavo who had cardiac arrest, went into a coma, and was in a coma for 15 years. Her husband indicated she wanted to be treated a certain way. Her parents thought it was another way. And she was in a coma for 15 years while the courts decided how to deal with her end-of-life issues. If she would have had something in writing, that would have been taken care of. We wouldn't have had that dispute. She wouldn't have suffered so long. So that's why it's important to have that in place.
All right, and all three of these are important to have, right?
Absolutely, all three of them are important.
All right, did you have anything else that you wanted to add about these before we head out?
Well, the triggering event, sometimes, people say, well, when should I get it in place? If you get married, if you have a child, if you get divorced, if you buy a home, or if you're single and you don't have someone else who can make those decisions if you pass away or are unable to make decisions. Those are some of the examples of triggering events that might, trigger having these in place.
All right, and if they want to learn more about these or maybe even, get help with these, how can they do that? Can they contact you right at Thompson-Hamel?
Yeah, I'm not an attorney, and the key is to get in front of an attorney to get these documents in place, but oftentimes I'll work with my clients and act as a sounding board for them to get these decisions on paper, hand them over to an attorney, and I accompany my clients to the attorney's office and get these documents in place.
So it's good to have someone like you, especially if you don't really like me, I don't really understand this, so it'd be good to have someone like you to kind of help you along.
Yeah, I ask a lot of probing questions, and we get it all in writing, and that way it's easier for the attorney to put these things in writing.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us here, and we will have this on our website if you miss anything, and we'll be right back.